Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of OK Karen.
Okay, Karen.
And tonight we're going to be doing a travel episode about a wonderful, wonderful trip that we took, a cruise we took to Alaska in summer of 2010.
Which ended up being, oh my gosh, I wish you would have not said the date, the
I'm
year.
sorry. I would offer to cut it out, but it's a really big pain for me to do video editing. So
Well,
it was a really fun
it
trip,
was
and it
my,
happened to be on Angela's birthday.
yes, well,
There you
it
go.
was a big birthday. We're not going to say which one. You can
20.
think 20 and that'll
It
be
was
fine.
20.
Yeah. So we started in Seattle. That's where our the cruise ship went out. So we went around Seattle for a day. And
Yes,
then
but before we
get
into that,
oh yeah. Okay,
okay. Do we have any shout outs?
Just so excited.
I know.
No
Okay.
shout outs.
No shout outs this week.
Y'all, we have a special guest.
We have a guest. I love having a guest on, except we
Me
always
too.
talk a very long time because it's fun. It's fun talking.
Yeah, and we apologize now for that.
In advance for how long we're going to talk, because we're going to go a long time.
Well,
okay.
Okay.
So I am making note of the
guest?
time. So our guest is John Bauer. And he is my cousin. And he's excited to be on OK Karen. I think he followed us in the beginning. I think we lost him at the Period podcast. But
right, he was a super fan
he was in the beginning. And then, they had him and his wife had a third baby. Things come up.
Priorities change.
You don't have as much free time to sit around and listen to Angela and Betsy talk maybe in your life.
We're giving him a lot of slack because he's probably our favorite Bauer. So
yeah. And Matt's never going to listen to this, or Andy or Tim. So there you go. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's bring him in.
Okay. All right. Is he coming? Is he here?
Come on, like Katie, where she's like running in.
There he is.
Hi, John.
Hello, John.
Hello.
We are recording. You are live with OK Karen.
Exciting.
Have you been waiting for this day for like a year?
I have been. It's been quite a while.
John, we introduced you as you used to be a super fan.
Former super fan.
Right. But you kind of dropped off with having another kid.
Claire came along and that kind of put that on hold.
Right.
So, yeah.
But we did say, because I need you to hear this, that you're still our favorite Bauer.
I'll drink to that.
To that. Betsy said that's kind of easy. Oh, I'll drink to it too.
But of the Bauers, Angela, that's not that much of a compliment.
I've traveled with 2 Bauers.
True.
And I've met the other 2.
That's true.
Who seem really fun.
Right.
Right. Probably couldn't tell Tim and Andy apart if they walked in my house, but still seem pretty fun.
You knew the names though. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
You just said the names.
Yeah. I know, but you remembered. I mean, sure, I said it a minute ago, but it's still pretty good.
Oh, I know Tim's wife is Tina. T&T.
Oh, look at you.
And Andy's wife is Jen.
I am really impressed.
I mean, y'all
I don't know how much personal information we need to give out at this.
Sorry.
They've not agreed to be on the podcast.
I feel like because Betsy, I know you so well, obviously. And then the Bauers, we've traveled so many trips together.
Yes.
So I just heard all this.
Yes, we've done a lot of trips together. And Alaska was one of the funnest trips. I feel like the trips where we've had a big group of people have really been very memorable. And we had 15 people.
Did we have 15?
15.
It was 15?
Because we had two cabins of guys. And there was 4 in each cabin. And we had 2 cabins of girls. One was the 3-person cabin, the princess cabin. Guess who was in that one?
That was me.
They named it the princess cabin themselves. It wasn't given the cruise ship did not have a princess cabin. They named it that themselves.
We made it a princess cabin. Right. But you know what? Where did everyone hang out?
In the lounge?
In our cabin. Oh. No. Well, when we couldn't go in the lounge in our cabin.
We squeezed a lot of people in there for your birthday. So, so we had 15. We had 8 guys and 7 girls. Everybody in their 20s, and we just had a blast. Like, it was super fun.
In their 20s. Everyone in their 20s.
Yes.
I don't know if everyone was in their 20s. Let's be honest.
I wasn't.
No. I know.
The only one though.
I know. And during the trip,
maybe not. Was Ernie older?
I was about to say, how old is Ernie? Because Ernie's,
I don't know.
And I don't know how old Zach is or John Goebel. Or
John's the same age
or
as me. Okay.
there's another girl that's a little older than us too. Or
Okay.
that's
Oh, that's true. That's true. I was not the
Mhm.
oldest, but I was in charge.
We're not calling her out either.
Well, I was in charge. Let's be honest. Okay.
Yeah.
So this group got together. It was Angela and I had done a lot of traveling. Pretty much every summer we'd do a trip because I was off for the summer and because Angela took off to do stuff with me, which is awesome. And we'd have random people come with us. We had already gone to Italy at this point, done a couple big trips, the Southwest trip.
Mhm.
And so we decided, let's
Did we
go to
do
Alaska.
your kidney trip by this point
Yes,
too?
it was a couple
Okay.
years before that.
And John, was the Southwest trip the first trip you came with us?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And
Okay.
I was only on about half of that.
He'd come to visit
Okay.
me in Texas, but this was like a big
Right.
trip. Southwest.
That's where I met him then. Southwest.
Yes. Southwest,
Right.
and Alaska and Yellowstone. Right, John? Those were the three big.
Those are the three. Yep.
Okay. So so we had done this and it ended up just being somehow we got several people from Wisconsin to go, which was my
Yeah.
sister's friends, because she was living in Wisconsin. My sister and brother-in-law's friends. My brother-in-law, my sister's husband, two of his siblings came. He didn't come, or my sister. So it was like two of my cousins, my brother, a bunch of friends of my sister's from Wisconsin, Angela, and the group just kind of grew. So we didn't.
Lisa, Beth.
Yes, a couple college friends, a friend from here. And so the group kind of took on, I mean, pretty much we're just like, who wants to go? And this is what it's going to cost to split cabins. We did it pretty cheap. I mean, for a cruise, for a 7-day cruise. If you were in a 4-person cabin, I think it ended up being like $900. It wasn't very much. I don't think for 7 nights, all inclusive.
I have no idea how much it was.
Yours was a little
Yeah, I
more
have no
because you
idea
only
either.
had 3 people in your cabin, and you were fine with that.
You know what? 100% okay with it.
So we organized it all, and everybody met kind of just then. We all flew into Seattle, and that's where everybody met. We stayed there, a night or two in a hotel before we left on the
I
cruise.
think we stayed a night in Seattle, right?
Maybe like a
You
day
guys went
and
to
a night
Oregon
and a day.
before, right?
We did.
A few of us went to Washington
Camping.
and Oregon and
Stayed
did
in a
like
yurt.
little.
Oh, a yurt. That was
Angela,
the
would
first
you like to
time.
tell
I
us
was very
about?
jealous.
So this all came about because
You
we
really
were.
shouldn't have been, John. Really shouldn't have been.
Yes, you should have. So
Isn't that the story? Isn't that the story where you guys were going to sleep and Matt's like, I'm pretty sure this is where they filmed Predator.
yes,
Yes. Yes.
and Angela responded.
I
You
don't
don't
know.
remember?
Not sure.
Something about
I
pulling
mean-
Matt's chest hair out.
One by one.
One by
One
one.
by
That should be in
So
the
you do
quote
remember.
book.
So
It
it is in the.
It's in
Here's
the
our
quote
quote book.
It's gonna
A
say.
travel quote book. I thought I would show everyone. I don't think I've shown this on the podcast yet. And each tab is a different trip, and it says who was on the trip, and it just has random quotes of ridiculous things that people have said while traveling that make no sense or do make sense, that make too much sense, and you're like, yeah, that was definitely Matt Bauer that said that.
My mom's going to be so proud of that quote too. That's
There's
all
a-
I got to say.
There's a lot of Matt quotes in here. Maybe we'll do
Yeah.
like
Imagine that.
outtakes at the end, and I'll just read them straight in a row.
Oh, yeah.
He did say, "You're a better person than I am," and he was talking to me. So,
Oh, and that made it in the quote book. Yeah, that's a
Yes.
good quote.
yeah, here it is. Okay, Matt did say this is where Predator was filmed, and Angela said, "I'm going to burn your eyes out with a hot poker. I'm going to rip your chest hairs out one by one. I'm going to stab you."
Okay.
Okay.
That's mainly the part I'm jealous about. I wish I could have been.
Just to put it
The
in
yurt, not
context,
so
y'all,
much.
we're in a yurt, which
Which
I
was
don't
a
even know
step
if-
up because remember we made a deal, no more tent camping.
That's
so we got a
true.
yurt.
which is a
It's like a
I
cabin.
don't know. Yeah, oh, don't go that far with a cabin.
Okay,
didn't
if you
have
don't know
its
what
own
a yurt
bathroom. It was
is,
just an
look it up.
Open. It's just an open room. I don't
It
even
had
know if the
beds.
windows. It did have a bed, bunk beds, but I don't know if the windows closed. The door had a lock that my 3-year-old niece could probably push open. And then so it's dark, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh,
We're
am
in
I
the
going to
woods.
sleep tonight? Yeah, again, the middle of the woods. Oh, there's a sign that says "Be aware of cougars," like the animal cougars.
We probably
not
took a
women
picture
cougars.
by that.
We did. And so I'm thinking, I could die again tonight. This is another. Am I even going to make it? And that's when Bauer said that quote. And I thought, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So yeah, the yurt was not fun. We did go to the Pacific Ocean though. I have never been to the Pacific Ocean. And they have, what do they call, Betsy? Those, is it a sneaker wave?
Yeah, they said just
Oh
beware of
yeah.
sneaker waves. Like,
Yes.
what's that? And then
Man, it's the water just rushes up. So we're taking a picture of Matt, and bam, a sneaker wave came and he got just drenched, the bottom of his like knee down.
or
And
more.
to to dry his sock, he
Yeah.
closed the window with a sock, and while we were going down the highway, it just flapped outside to get it dry.
I mean, I'm just gonna say, if you're listening, Matt, I would have done the same thing. So I don't see anything wrong with that.
I would
I'm
have
sure I
thrown
didn't
away
have
the
socks on. I'm sure I
socks.
just had sandals on. But
Yeah, I would have just thrown away the socks.
but the ocean was definitely very different than what us like Gulf Coast girls were used
Right.
to, for sure. And even
And
East
it was
Coast.
cold.
It was
And
very
it
cold,
was,
yeah.
yeah, in June.
So we
So
went to this all started because we wanted to get to all 50 states. Me and Angela and Matt and probably John also. I just feel like everybody kind of wanted to get to 50 states and we're like, "Hey, let's just do Alaska." We looked at driving and we're like, "Okay, we're going to spend like 4 days driving to Anchorage, 4
mhm.
days back. Like that's our whole thing." Or we can take a cruise and stop at small towns along the coastline and get, a variety of a few things, see a little bit of variety of Alaska. Um, and so we just kind of put it out there, who wants to go? And the group got bigger and bigger. And then we thought, well, if we're going to Seattle to depart for this cruise anyway, we might as well go down and hit Oregon as well.
Oregon.
Because when else are we going to be out there? So we went to, we got Washington State and Oregon as well. We went to, um, what's the place where Goonies was filmed?
Yeah, I don't know, but we did go to the house, the Goonies house.
We took
And
pictures. It says private
right.
property. This is where
And we
Goonies
still
was.
took
Please
pictures.
don't go up the driveway. And then we went to Forks. That was a big sight to see because
Which
it's
if
Twilight
if y'all
book.
don't know Forks, I was about to say that's the Twilight books. So Betsy and I stood out. The guys, Matt and Chris could care less, but we
Yeah.
made them take the picture of us.
We saw some giant sequoias, went to a couple national parks just for a
Did
very
we?
quick.
We went to some national parks.
Yes. And then we
Okay.
went, so it was a very quick, like, 3 days, 2 days, 2 days, 3 days before the trip.
I don't
And then
know.
everybody else that wasn't able to take off more than a week of work to come gallivant around with us
That'd be me.
met us in Seattle. And we spent, I want to say, I don't know, 30 hours in Seattle. We stayed at a hotel, but we went out in Seattle and saw some, touristy Seattle things. And
We
then
The
did
gum wall.
we did
the
the gum
gum
wall.
wall, which we have a picture that we'll show, which was disgusting.
We went
That
we saw the Space
I
Needle and we did the seafood market, all this stuff you should
yeah.
see if you're going to be in Seattle. Of course, we're only there for 24 hours, so
So I need to say, whose idea was it to go to the gum wall?
I don't even know.
Because I
There
remember
were
like
several of us there.
chewing my gum, and then I thought, okay, and then I'm going to put it on this wall. And then as I went to put it on the wall, I thought, oh, I don't want to touch anybody else's gum. This is so gross. So, yeah, that was really nasty. I can't believe I did that.
Me neither.
Whatever.
I'm really
Yeah.
surprised at you, Karen.
Did one of us catch a fish? I did not catch the fish at the market. Didn't someone in our group try to catch a fish, or is that we were just watching people?
Or we're
catch
just
fi-
watching them
a
throw the
fish?
fish.
I remember
Yeah.
watching people throw fish and catch fish.
Okay,
I personally was not in the catching fish business,
no,
but I
wasn't
remember
catching the fish
watching
either.
in the market and seeing everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And then-
Angela
All the workers yelling at each other and stuff
yeah.
while they were
Oh,
throwing fish.
we went to the original Starbucks too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. So that's
Um,
what, and Seattle was
yeah,
very
I'm just
quick,
going
but
through
it
my
was-
pictures.
It was neat.
Super
And then,
quick.
so here's the thing. I'm just going to say this. The planning, we had one minivan that we rented when we went camping and doing stuff the 3 days before. And then we just made, nobody else needs to really get a car. I'll just shuttle everybody as their flights come in, 15 people. Well, like 4 of us were there, 5 of us were there, so 10 people. I'll just go to the airport and shuttle them back to where the hotel is, which was kind of downtown, and that's where everything we wanted to see in Seattle was anyway. And then we'll return the one vehicle and get on the cruise. No problem, right? Minivans, we were very crowded getting people to and from the airport because people packed for at least a 7-day cruise. Some people were there before and we were camping. So we had sleeping bags. It was just a
yeah.
lot of luggage.
My packing ranged from hiking shoes to, evening gowns for the boat. It was just, I think I brought 7 or 8 pairs of shoes.
Yes.
Just shoes. Cause it was insane what you had.
That does not surprise me.
No. And I think I was telling Matt, like, do you own a pair of sandals? Like, what did you bring? What are you wearing? No, because I do remember some of the guys on the dress up night where the girls are wearing like semi-formals and formal dresses. Guys were like, I brought khakis, and my tennis shoes. And we're like, you just have tennis shoes? Like, that's all I brought. Like, okay, great. Or hiking boots. So like, okay, great.
That was also me.
That was yeah, exactly.
Do you remember what Matt did to the van, Betsy?
Yes. Oh,
that
yeah.
was rented by you in your name.
I will get to that. You can tell
okay.
that.
He broke
Just
it.
making sure.
So, so anyway, so the day we're leaving for the cruise didn't leave early. It was like noon or something. We all go down to the hotel lobby. Everybody has their luggage. We're all standing, a group of 15 of us, and I'm probably in teacher mode. Like, everybody, this is what we're doing. You get your bags, you get in the van, blah, 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 blah. So we start shuttling people, like, 5 people at a time down to where the port is for the cruise and dropping them off, luggage, go back to the hotel, drop off the next group. We get to the last group and I'm driving because the rental van is in my name. And everybody gets in, we put all the luggage in the back. The luggage, the door of the minivan, it's not closing. John, do you remember what? So
Matt's like, I'll take care of it.
Yeah, I'll take care of it. And like kicks, like some crazy karate kick.
Oh my goodness.
And what does it do? It just dents in. It's a freaking hand door. Like, it wasn't like
a dent that would not come back out.
It was about to latch. It was like this much space where the bag was, I'm like, so you got like 4 inches here. Do you think you're just going to be like, if it was just this much, I could have pushed it with my hands, Bauer. So it dented. And then he's like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, well done, Bauer. So
it was a how much money do I have to throw at this problem to make it go away moment for Matt.
And at this point, yes, exactly. How much money do you have to throw? I said, I don't know, but you're going with me to return the van now. You're going with me. And we'll see if they charge me, because it was very obvious. It wasn't like
really.
No, it was not a small dent.
It was a big dent.
Oh wow! See, I think I was already at the cruise ship. I was not.
You were, but that's not the end of this story. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to deal with this. And we were doing okay on time, but the cruise is like, you get here 2 hours before.
Oh,
you get here. If you hear that horn blow, we're leaving without you. We don't wait. And they were very, very strict about stuff.
Snake through lines and check out this and check this and put your luggage here and go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we were going to be the last ones, obviously. After I returned, we were going to get a taxi, return it to the airport, and then rental car. And then I was just going to get a cab to the cruise. So I'm like, you're going with me, Bauer. So we drop off the last group of people. John, were you in the last group of people?
He had to have been if he witnessed that.
So we get there, we pull all the luggage out of the van, and I'm like, let's go, people. Now I'm going to have to deal with the rental car people. We got to get back here. Matt and I have to get on the boat. And we get all the luggage out. It's sitting on the curb. Everybody grabs their bags. And there's one like black roller small suitcase, like carry-on suitcase is just sitting there. And I'm like, whose bag is this? Crickets. I'm like, whose bag?
Hold on. Can I stop you right there?
Yes.
I forgot about that. Said, whose bag is this? In the most Karen voice.
Oh
ever.
Yeah. I was in full Karen mode at this point. Matt just dented my van, my minivan.
Had the haircut.
Before we
your hair
them
was
Karens.
shrinking up and everything.
Yes. I was in teacher, mom, Karen mode, and I was not a mom, and Karen didn't exist at this time. But I was in full mode because we were like running behind on time. It was a super pain to like shuttle everybody back with their bags. And then Matt dented my minivan. Okay. So I was like, so
awesome.
I was like, what? So then I'm like calling his attention because the people we just dropped off are like, they're starting to walk up. I'm like, no, everybody get over here. Whose bag is this? And everybody's like, it's not mine, it's not mine. So I look at the tag and it says like random name I've never heard, Wisconsin. It has like a tag with the address on it. So then I'm like, we're all standing there and I'm like, call the people from Wisconsin on their cell phone and see if this is like someone's bag, because we had like 5 people from Wisconsin. So we start calling me like, is this your dad's bag? Did you borrow someone's bag by this name? Like it's not anyone's name that we knew, but again, it's from Wisconsin. So we're like, so they're like, no. And it's this point that we realize we took someone's bag from the hotel lobby that
You
was
stole
not in our
someone's
group.
bag.
And it didn't even
I'd
cross
forgot
my
about that.
mind until every single person was like, it's not our bag. So we wasted like 30 minutes standing there at the port because most of our group was already in their cabins. Like they were
Yeah,
already
I
on.
don't think I was aware of any of this.
No, we
and I am
didn't bother.
so glad. I
Yeah.
probably had a drink in my hand
You
by
probably
this
did.
point.
You probably
Which
did.
I'm
And I'm
so
like,
thankful for.
So then I'm like, oh my God, where did this bag come from? And then we realized, we just had a pile of luggage in the lobby of the hotel with like a lot of luggage for 15 people. And we were just loading it up. So the last batch, the 2 shuttles before, everybody made sure their own bags were in the van, right? But this last one, we just put everything in. And Matt's like, what person at the hotel put their luggage so close to ours? They should have never put it in our pile. And I'm like, Bauer, you're blaming this on them. And he's like, and they have this like nondescript black carry-on suitcase. I'm like, I said, that bag could have been like pink polka dot with elephants on it, and we would have taken it. We wouldn't have even thought, like, we just been like, put it in the van, like, because we were already in a hurry and the van door was dented.
That
and
bag,
I'm like,
bag was probably the one that kept the door from closing.
It probably
too.
was. Exactly.
Right.
And so,
And it was their fault.
So we get in the van,
Not
and I'm like, yeah, exactly. It's like, how dare you put your luggage so close to ours? How are we supposed to know? I'm like, really?
Charge
Matt?
them for the dent for the body repair.
Yeah, exactly. So we call the hotel and we're like, hey, we think we just left. We had a big loud group of people and we think we might have taken someone else's bag from the lobby. And the guy right away was like, oh yes, the guy's looking for his bag. Like he already came up to us and said his bag was missing. And I'm like, don't leave your bag unattended, dude. Where did you go? Did you go to the bathroom? Take your bag with you. But anyway, so
you had to go back by the hotel.
We had to go back to the hotel. And I stayed in the van. I was like, Bauer, you're taking this bag and you're going in. And he was like, they're going to get mad at me. I'm like, just go up to the front desk and be like, I'm returning a stolen bag and run away. So he's like, oh, Betsy. I'm like, nope, you got to do it. So I stayed in the van. And anytime he said anything, I'm like, you did in the van. And he's like, okay, I'll do it. So he goes in and he's like, I didn't say stolen. I said, we accidentally put this bag in our van and we're returning it. And he goes, I didn't wait around to see who the owner was. I just gave it to the clerk. I'm like, good call. So we go back and Matt was actually kind of nervous when we got to the rental place. They didn't say anything. And they did look at the car. And I was like,
it was bigger than a quarter?
Yeah, it was like the size of his boot.
Oh, much bigger.
And it was dented in like 2 or 3 inches. Like it was a big dent. Yeah.
And they didn't say anything?
About the size of Matt's foot.
Yes, exactly.
His hand or his foot?
His foot.
His foot.
So it was a pretty big dent.
He kicked it.
That's crazy. And
Yeah.
that they didn't say anything.
And I don't know if they didn't notice or what, but I was like, and so I told him, you're not off the hook until like a month goes by.
I was
don't
just
get
about
some
to say,
random
so
bill.
So even after, they never sent you anything.
They never said anything. So I hope
That's
the next
good for
person,
you.
when you get the rental car and you can mark if there's any marks.
Right.
I hope the next person like said there's a dent here, because otherwise they might get charged for it.
Right.
So we never got charged for it. So I was like, you got lucky. And
I'm just really glad Matt's not on this call so he can't defend himself. That's the best part about all of
That's
it is. Yeah, exactly. So then we like get a cab, and I was getting anxious because you're supposed to be there an hour and a half before, and we were getting there an hour and 15 minutes before, and I'm like, and everybody was saying there's a really long line, you have to go through all this whole process to get on, and we made it, of course, and it was fine. It wasn't as close a call as other times, which we'll tell you when John was running.
Yes, but Betsy, I do remember that being anxious because I thought y'all aren't on the ship yet. Everyone else is, but and we did go through a long line.
And I'm not going to get stuck in Seattle with Bauer for a week.
Yeah, while we're in
I'm
Alaska.
just gonna fly home. Forget
Oh
that.
goodness.
So we get on the cruise, and this was the first and only cruise I've ever been on, and it was so nice. Like I just felt like we were just pampered the whole time, and I don't know if
What
all
cruise
cruises are
line
that
were
way.
we?
Norwegian.
Okay.
Norwegian.
So
Yeah.
Angela, you've been on other cruises. Are they all
I
this
have.
way?
They're very nice.
Okay.
Yes, they are. Alcohol's
they clean-
expensive.
Yeah, they
but
clean your room
everything
like
else is really nice.
2 or 3 times a day. They would clean your room, and they were just
And not
very
only do
like
they clean
happy
your
to
room,
see
but
us
they
at
make
meals.
they
Yeah.
make little animals with your towels and stuff. That was always fun. Yeah. Remember when you go in? This is all pre-COVID too. Washy when you went into the
Yeah, that's right.
restaurants.
They
Washy
give you the
washy.
hand sanitizer.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we were just like, this is really nice.
And we probably, let's be honest, we're the youngest people on the cruise.
The youngest and the loudest.
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
Y'all,
there was a lot of older
everyone on the-
people on this cruise,
Right.
and then there were some families. But as far
And
as like groups of single
everyone-
people in their 20s,
No.
Yeah.
no.
And
And there
they
are
all- We were the
2,000
only ones.
people.
Yeah.
2,000 people on the
But
cruise.
they all knew who we were. At the whole cruise
They
line.
learned
the
very
people
quickly.
Yeah, they were like, wait, you're part of Betsy's crew, which
Yeah.
we'll get
Well,
to.
Yeah. The
Go
cruise
ahead.
director.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So
What was his
who wants to
name?
tell how we got that name?
You go ahead, Betsy.
I just remember, I think someone said
We were at the love game, the dating game.
but we participated in everything on the boat.
Yes.
Not all of us. Like, I didn't participate in the love game. Maybe I should have.
I
But
don't think
anyway.
some people put their names in to be on the love game,
Yeah.
the dating game or whatever, but none of us were
like-
selected. We were just in the audience.
And then John, you did something on stage one time. Do you remember?
I remember
Yes.
Mary. I remember
No,
Mary
you
doing
did.
what I do. I don't remember that at all.
Because I have a picture of you with like 3 other guys, and you did your hands like this, and you're bent backwards, or
Maybe
and-
it was
oh,
like
y'all
the
were sitting
comedy
on
show or the
chairs.
magic show.
and they pulled the chairs. Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah,
They
it
pulled
was.
the chair
You were
from
called
you.
up. It was one of the magic or comedy shows or something one night.
John, you don't remember this?
I do not. I'm totally honest. I don't remember that at all. I remember
It-
the magic shows. I mean, they were really good, but
You
I don't remember
participated in it,
So
Huh.
and I
so
can't
how
find
we
the
got
picture
the
right
name
now.
is we went to this like dating show, and they have like, they pull up 3 guys and 3 girls, and they have their back turned, and they ask questions and stuff. And I don't think anyone from our group was participating, although some people put their name
Probably
in for
not.
it. They weren't selected. But we were in the audience, and we were, I mean, kind of heckling, I feel like. Don't you think?
That's a
I
good way
mean,
of putting it.
Do you
I
think we
mean,
were heckling?
yes, because
Hmm.
it was like people would yell out answers, and the cruise director who was leading the show was like, okay,
Andy.
okay. Yeah, at first
Angie.
he loved it. At first, Andy, the cruise
Ooh.
director, loved it because he's like, oh yeah, like because people are being interesting and participating, which makes everybody
Yeah.
laugh and more interested. Because probably the dating game doesn't normally on that cruise have that many people participating because it's all like
Yeah.
elderly people. But Andy was like, and then after a while, one of the questions like, what's the one thing that you wouldn't do something? And the guy was just kind of like, and then somebody in our group started singing, I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. And
Oh,
like one person sang it,
yes.
and Andy's like, ah ha 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 ha. And then the contestant sang it, like heard us do it and sang it. And Andy's like, oh, you got some help from the crowd, huh? And then somebody started singing it super loud, and our whole group was just like interrupted the game show. All of these events are like live broadcast to people's room if you want to watch it. So they were like, you could see the cameras like on us instead of the contestants as they're singing. And so Andy's like, okay, we're just hold on. We're going to go over here. Who are you people? Like he pretty much was like,
And he
started
where we were
asking people,
from.
yeah, where are you from? And they were like, Wisconsin, Mississippi,
yeah.
Texas. And they just were naming
Illinois.
Illinois.
And was that it? Or was there more? No, I think that was all the
that was
states. But he's like, wait a minute. How do you all know each other?
Wait,
And
was
at
there
this-
in Minnesota? There might have been in Minnesota.
Yeah, and John Goebel. And so
Right.
at the same time, everybody's like, Betsy. And he's like, what? And he's like, oh, well, thanks, Betsy, for bringing all the crazy people.
Yeah.
And of course, we just loved
That was a
it. And
great
then after
moment.
that,
Yeah.
he's like, okay. So he's like, back to the game. He's like, Betsy's crew, you can be as loud as you want, but like, remember, we got to like focus on our contestants here or something like. So he gave us the name Betsy's crew. And I think after that, Angela, yeah, like every
The
event we
whole
went
ship
to,
knew
they were
us.
like,
Yeah.
definitely the lounge with the band that played at night.
Wavelength.
Wavelength, you
Mhm.
knew the name?
Yes. Yes. I wrote
Yes,
it
I
down in
could
my
have told
thing.
you that. Yeah.
Do you
Wow.
remember the lounge's name, John?
No, I don't.
It was Bliss.
Bliss.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
hold
would
on.
never
Let me
got
show
that
you
one.
this, John, because I found it. Look at, does this bring back memories? I think you're right.
Oh, yeah, I do. Yes, I
See,
do
I
remember that
told
now.
you.
Yep,
Oh yeah, you were like
yep.
leaning
Yeah.
on each other.
Yeah.
Like
I
three
think y'all were
random
sitting
dudes.
down in chairs and they came and took your chair out or something. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah,
y'all,
and we were all
then
supporting one another.
Yeah.
didn't someone in our group win a dance off or
Yes,
something?
Melissa won Dancing
Yeah.
with the Norwegian Stars or something like that.
Yes.
Dancing with the Cruise Stars.
Wow.
I mean, we were all over. Of course, I think when she was doing the dancing, I'll be honest, I wasn't there. I probably should have been there to support her, but I was in the lounge with Wavelength
Yes, we
'Cause-
spent a lot. We were in the lounge with Wavelength. I feel like after
Every
every
night.
night after dinner or after the show we went
There's
to.
Wavelength.
There's Wavelength.
Yes.
They
Oh,
pretty
there
much
was
catered to us because
100%.
we were like, you know, most of the
Especially that
people
one
were there.
night.
Especially Angela's
Oh,
birthday night.
yes, because
Where they
every night
changed
we
the
were
letters
like,
for
Bon
Gloria to
Jovi.
Angela just
Oh,
for
that
you.
was, and we didn't even realize it till you, Betsy. I was just talking up a storm, which surprise there. And Betsy, you were like, hold on, Angela.
I'm like,
They're
they're saying
they're
your
singing
name.
about you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really cool. And then they
Angela
did
was up
sing a
on
Bon
stage
Jovi
singing.
and
For
playing a
any-
tambourine,
For
y'all.
anyone that knows Angela, that was a big thing. She had plenty of wine, and they were like, "Come on up, birthday girl," and she was up there singing. I don't know how many songs. The
I don't know.
tambourine playing was even more than the song singing. The next day, I'm like, Angela, what is wrong with your hand? And she shows me her hand.
Oh,
All of this is blue, black and blue.
yeah.
I'm like, what is wrong? And she's like, I think it's from playing the tambourine. She was hitting her hand so hard and her hip that she had bruised the palm of her hand and her hip where she was hitting the tambourine.
Y'all,
She was very much
it-
into it.
that was my job that night. I was their tambourine player.
And to wear a
Period.
tiara.
Oh,
Oh,
there you go.
yes.
Yes, Lisa brought you a tiara. I
She
think we have
did.
a picture of
This
every
is
single
this
person
is
with
me
the
on
tiara.
stage with
Oh, yeah.
Angela.
I don't even know who that is. It's
Wavelength's
part of
main
he's part
singer
of Wa-
person.
part of Wavelength.
So we'll post some of these pictures. If you're watching on YouTube, then I'm going to try and put these in as we go through the different stuff. So yeah, so we just had a blast. The actual cruise was really fun. Besides the port cities, it was so much fun having a big group. I felt like every night we would choose like, okay, we're gonna go to this restaurant at 8:00. And we had a big table and everybody, I think there's only one or two nights that people ate at different places, like if they wanted to do sushi or pay extra for
Right.
this or whatever.
I think I did sushi, and I think I was the only girl that did sushi with the
Mhm.
boys.
Yeah.
But I, because y'all didn't eat sushi.
That was
But
one of the
like
first times
sushi.
I tried it.
Did
It's
you
not
like
the
it?
first. Yeah, I really like sushi.
Really?
Yeah.
I do.
So
Yeah.
did you say that was the first time you had sushi?
If it wasn't the first, it was like the second. I think Matt took me someplace to like try it, and then we went on the Alaskan cruise, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, if I remember right. So yeah.
But the sushi in Southern Illinois isn't rural Southern Illinois. Isn't like that.
I don't remember, but I'm
The
sure it
best
doesn't.
sushi in the world.
We have a Japanese restaurant in Effingham, Illinois, so it's
Okay.
pretty good. It's pretty
Well,
good
I mean,
sushi.
I've been to the Mexican restaurant. Wasn't there a Mexican restaurant in Newton for a little while? It was like,
There still is, I think. I think it's still
okay.
open. I haven't been there forever. I took wife on our first date was at a Mexican restaurant in Newton, Illinois.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a good first date.
Anyway, back to
Um,
Alaska.
Okay.
Okay, so the cruise was just really fun, basically.
It was.
And I feel like I would enjoy a cruise now if it was just like me and my husband without the kids. But at the same time, this was like the perfect cruise for us at this time. Like having a big group made every event fun, just even like I remember we played cards. We're sitting like, they have the viewing rooms that are just all glass, like kind of sitting, rooms where you just sit around and have a drink and whatever during the day. When we weren't doing other stuff, and we just sit and visit and play cards and goof off, and it was really enjoyable. So
Now, this cruise ship did not have a casino on it because
Mhm.
I've been on other cruise ships that they have a casino, like a small casino, but ours didn't. And I mean, yes, like you
I
said,
wonder if
it
that
was
has to
so
do
much
with
stuff
the international
going out.
waters.
Yeah, that's what I would think. The
Because we were
international
really
part.
close to the shore. Most of the time you could see.
hmm
There was only like a day where we were all in the ocean and you couldn't see the land. Most of the time you could see the
Right.
mountains, which was gorgeous.
Oh, everything.
hmm
Remember, there was like, we were in the dining area and there was a huge commotion, and it was a whale had breached, and it just
Yeah.
kept, it did it a couple of times, and everyone just ran to the back. I didn't know what was going on. I was a little nervous, I'll be honest. But then when they said it was a whale, I thought, okay, that's better.
Now, I can say if you do go on an Alaskan cruise, I brought like, a bathing suit cover up and sunscreen, and I don't think I ever did the hot tubs or the pool. The pool and the hot tubs are all on the top deck, and it was pretty cold. I
It,
think a
Yeah.
few people, did you
yeah,
guys go in the hot tubs? I think a few
I
people
did
in our
not.
group did,
No.
but most people were
But
like,
they were also really small too.
yeah,
And there wasn't a whole lot of them either. So there was so
Yeah.
much other stuff. But yeah, it was, I mean, I wore a coat, especially that day we did the Glacier Bay.
mhm, yeah,
We had coats and blankets on the, sitting out on the deck
yes, gloves,
with that.
hats. I mean, we
Yes,
were
it
all
was,
very cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was cold. And
Yeah.
this is June. This is the beginning of June
So,
for
I remember everybody
everyone.
wearing sweatshirts and covering up in blankets on the Glacier
Yeah.
Bay National
Mhm.
Park. That was cold.
So
was
that
really
was the
cool.
stuff on the cruise.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about the stops? The
So
port
our
cities?
first stop, yes, was
Tiny,
June.
tiny port cities.
And I loved the stops. I loved the
Uh-huh.
people. I got
I
to
did
meet
too.
several of the people. Our first stop though was Juneau, Alaska, and myself, along with Chris Hess, Ernie. Hold on, and I can tell you, Mary and Zach. We went on a whale excursion. I don't know what the rest of y'all did.
I went hiking.
I think I went on a different hike than you, John, but I think I went on a hike also.
I'm going to
Yeah, I
tell
don't-
y'all.
The
The
whale.
whale
So tell us about the whale
excursion,
watching, because I'm sure it was
it
more exciting
was,
than the
oh
hiking.
my
Unless
gosh,
John's hike. My hike wasn't really that exciting.
no way. Y'all could not beat my excursion. It was on this boat, kind of a small boat, and we saw all these orcas. It was unreal. And we're going from one place to another, and the boat's kind of cruising at a pretty good speed. And all of a sudden, the captain just slams on the brake because everyone kind of leaned forward, and he gets on the overhead, and it kind of whispers, "Everyone look to your right." And I looked to the right in the water, and there's this huge humpback whale sitting on top. The captain said he was sleeping. And I thought, I looked at the whale and I looked at our boat.
How big is
And I
your
looked,
boat?
it was small. Our boat was smaller than the whale because I thought, whale boat, whale, we need to get out of here. Because if this whale gets mad, we're in trouble. And you're not close to land. And we just went by a bunch of orcas. So I just was a little nervous. We didn't stay too long with the humpback. And then we went and saw some sea lions. And have y'all seen sea lion or heard sea lions?
Yeah.
Okay, they're really flipping loud because I thought, what is that noise? And we get closer. I'm thinking, huh. And, we didn't stay there long because one sea lion's the same as the next sea lion. But and then we went back and we met up with y'all on the boat. But that was my excursion. And it was so much fun. Well, I'll add some pictures. I'll send them to Betsy and she can add them because y'all know I don't add them.
Yes.
I don't remember
so,
I don't think you were on our hike, Betsy, but ours was just mainly like a really steep climb, and it had a really steep cliff next to it. But That's
What?
just kind of just yeah. There was like a really big drop off. Kind of. I have a kind of a picture that can explain just how steep it was. So
What?
Thanks for the
Wait,
graphic. You'll have
yeah,
to send
why
us
did
that
y'all
one too.
do that?
it's
John,
a,
why did y'all do that?
I don't know. It was really beautiful. I mean, it was really pretty. I mean, but really good. I mean, everywhere you turned, it was kind of a Alaskan postcard. I felt like, but
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it was very much mountains
Hmm.
and woods. It was really pretty. Um,
yeah,
I can't remember which day it was, but I went on a hike with John Goble and Lisa, and it was more like in town, but we ended up like it was a little bit of hiking. We took like a city bus somewhere, and then we ended up at this lake surrounded by mountains, and the lake had like big chunks of ice floating in it, because it was still very, very cold. And so we just saw that, and then we headed back. We ended up the city bus never came according to the schedule. I don't know why. And so we were like, we have an hour to get back, and we're like 25 miles from the boat or 20
Oh my
miles from the boat.
goodness.
oh
And we
boy,
have an hour to get back, and they're very threatening with the cruise lines. Like, if you're not
Yes,
here, we're leaving you.
they're gonna leave you.
So
right.
we were like, what are we gonna do? Like, we tried to see if there was like a taxi company. This is a town of like 800 people.
I wouldn't think there's
So
too many taxis or
no.
Ubers.
So we ended up hitchhiking. Like, we just saw a guy, like, we're on the side of the road, and we're like, what are we
I
gonna
am
do?
so glad I did not go with y'all.
Yeah.
I
And
am
so
so
this
glad.
guy, well, here's the thing. So we were like, we're walking, and it's kind of in the city. But it was very spread out. It was like the city was like basically a long highway with different stuff, but it was too far for us to walk in an hour. And so, we we were like walking through a church parking lot, or we see somebody getting in their car at the church parking lot. We're like, hi, we need to get back to the cruise, and we have this many
I
minutes.
remember
And
that.
like, is there like a taxi cab? Like, is there do you know of any way? Do you know anyone that has an Uber? Like, they didn't have Uber then, but we were like, we need help, basically. And the guy was like, I'll just give you a ride. I'm going that way anyway. And we're like, okay. Like, we don't have any options. And we're just like, okay.
No. And my mama listening to this is probably like, Angela, I'm so glad you went on that whale excursion.
And there were 3 of us. So we were like, what are we going to do?
So you, Lisa, and John Goble.
And
Okay.
John Goble. But then he opens the van, and he only has 2 seats in the van.
Like his seat and one more?
I don't remember. I remember that I was behind the back seat sitting on the spare tire. Like kind of curled up. And John has a picture of me, and I'm like like just smiling, like, here we go. Like, wish us luck. We don't know what's going on.
Oh.
And even with him driving us, I remember, like, we got back like 5 minutes before they sounded the horn, and we were like,
Really?
yeah, we were very close getting back. And so yeah, we're like, okay, well, that was interesting. And I still don't know why the buses weren't running. I mean, who knows? But yeah, there we were. So we made it back. It was beautiful. I'll post a picture of that if I can find one. I don't really know where my pictures are of this trip, but
Well, after we finished our whale excursion, we went to the Red Dog Saloon, which is
Oh,
pretty
yes.
famous.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I
And
think a lot of people ended up there.
yeah.
Did y'all
Yeah,
do
'cause I
the
have pictures.
duck?
I have pictures of that.
Did you do the duck fart shot?
Yeah, you guys
I don't
told us
remember.
about it.
Yes, y'all. It was
Yeah.
so good. It was. I don't even know what was in it. I'll maybe
The
Google it.
name
I
of it
don't
is
know.
duck fart.
Duck fart. Yes,
Duck fart
DUCK. Duck fart. FART.
And I'm surprised that you even tried a shot like that. I mean, usually you're
Someone
like,
said it's very popular.
yeah, but usually, like, I'll take something that's like, caramel sunset or something that sounds really sweet and delicious.
It must have
But it's
been.
not something like
Angel's like,
Well,
I'm not
it's only-
trying duck fart. What's wrong with you?
It's only a shot, so I mean, you can do anything with a shot.
Okay, Karen.
Just gonna throw that out there.
Tell us more about that.
Well, that's all I need to say right now.
Okay.
But yeah, I remember going to that and really enjoying.
Well, I'm gonna have to Google what was in duck fart shot.
Yeah, I have a picture of it, but I can't read what's in it. But yeah, it was one of the like things you had to do.
Now,
in
here's the other
Juneau.
thing I really liked about the Alaskan cruise is that so we did a port city and then we would just be at sea for like 8 hours in the middle of the night.
At night,
And
yes.
then the
I
next
like
morning
that
it was
too.
like, oh, we're at a port from like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. again. So it was
Mhm.
really close ports, 4 days in a row. And then the last coming home was longer. We were at sea for maybe 2 days before we got to Victoria or whatever. But yeah, that was really nice because we just weren't on the boat a lot.
Right. I enjoyed that too. So our next stop was Skagway. And I'm pretty sure everyone in our group did a train. We went on a train trip. I don't know where the train went.
I need
I
to
don't
look it
even
up
know.
because it was something historical with this train, and I don't remember, how
Yeah,
old it
I have
was.
White,
It
pictures of
was
it.
a
I
I
don't
see
very
it.
remember it.
old train, though.
It was like
Yeah.
White Pass. That's in my
Mm.
pictures. I don't know what that means.
I'm impressed that you saw the name in your pictures. I'm like, wow, I
Yeah,
don't remember
yeah.
this. Good for you.
You think I remember that? I can
No.
barely remember last week.
She remembers
But
duck fart though.
Duck fart.
yes,
I don't know what was in it, but
that.
duck fart shot was
Duck fart.
delicious.
Yeah, if y'all
Which-
ever have the opportunity in Juneau, Alaska, do that.
So the train was really neat and it was beautiful, like through the mountains. I thought it was really.
Yes.
Was it scary for
We-
you, Angela?
No,
Were you on
no.
the train,
Why would it?
John?
Yes, I think everybody, that was the one
I
excursion
think-
everybody did because we had like the longest email thread trying to get everybody
To do
like,
one together.
to do one together. But that
And that was probably the one
That
we
was
chose
really
because
fun.
it was the cheapest, and Betsy was
It was
very
very- yeah,
cheap.
right. It was
But
very
also,
cheap.
if
So I was
y'all
like, I'm
remember,
just hiking. I'm not doing excursions. This
Yeah, I
is
did another
expensive.
hike in Skagway, and it was even more altitude and all that stuff. But Matt complained a lot; it was terrible.
but we saw a bear on the.
we did.
And then we saw a mountain goat. If you remember, I have a picture of a mountain goat.
Wow.
I don't remember
Okay.
the mountain goat.
Yeah, I'll be 100% honest. I was like, where's the goat? Where's the goat? And Chris Hess, I'm pretty sure, just said, right there. It's right there. So I just aimed my camera there and took a picture. And I found the mountain goat when I developed my pictures.
Oh, you
So-
said that's when you could see
Yeah.
it. Good thing you took a picture.
I didn't see the actual mountain goat when I was in Alaska. I got back to Mississippi and saw the mountain goat. But
Kinda like-
yeah. It's what?
I said it's kind of like seeing one. You were in Alaska when you saw it. You saw it when you were back home in Mississippi.
Right. So, but I do remember the train being, I mean, we really got to see, because I didn't hike. I'm not going to hike.
It was
But
very
I saw,
picturesque.
yes,
But even-
what Alaska.
It even went through like some tunnels that was like through the mountains and stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
that was really cool.
Yeah, it was a nice, and that was a good trip for all of us because we basically had one car in the train.
Yes. Yeah.
So that was nice. I think, yeah, and then I did some shopping, I think there a little in Skagway while John, y'all went on another hike.
Yep.
Which completely tells our personalities.
Right.
And I
think
Betsy,
Aaron Percy was a big advocate of the hiking as well.
Yeah, me and Aaron and
Teresa
Beth
and Mike did a lot too.
and Mike, we were kind of a group. So
Yeah.
Betsy,
Yeah,
I have a picture
a lot
of
of fun.
you, myself, and Lisa. We went to another saloon and had another shot. Do you remember that shot? It was like a pineapple vanilla.
I do remember this one. I was not with you for the duck fart.
Did you like it? Because in my notes I have it smelled better than it tasted.
You made notes about the shots?
Yeah, why not?
Where are the notes kept?
They're in my little book. They're in my memory book.
You have a notebook like Matt does?
No, good grief. I have a what is this thing called?
A photo album.
Yes. And see,
I was thinking you had a
Thank
little
God.
notebook, like a detective notebook, like Matt carries around on our trips and
So,
like
are you
writes down things.
crazy?
Remember in Rome how he'd write down all this stuff?
Yes.
And I'm like, are you going to look that up? Of course I'm going to look it up. A random building. He's like, who's that guy? The statue of the guy on the horse. I'm like, I don't know. Can you read it? He's like, I'm going to write it down. He's like writing the guy's name down. Some Italian
Yeah.
statue. And I'm like, okay, do you really look up this stuff when you get home? But you write
I'm
down
not-
in your
I
photo
write down
album
important things.
Smelled better than it
important things-
tasted.
Yeah.
about the shots. it
So if
smells
y'all
better
go
than
to
it
Alaska,
tasted.
don't get that shot. Go get the
Pineapple
duck fart
cream,
shot. Pineapple vanilla.
pineapple
And
vanilla.
it was clear. I remember because
Sounds
I
like it
thought,
would be good.
yeah, but it wasn't.
I'm making a mental note. If I'm ever offered that, I'll be like, sorry, do you have a duck fart?
I'm going to smell it and then hand it back to him.
Yeah.
Like, thank you.
That smells wonderful. I'm not interested. Thank you. I
Here's your
really like,
with,
B50.
now can I smell the duck fart?
yes, people don't smell the duck fart. Just trust me on the duck fart and drink it.
Just drink it.
Oh my gosh.
So
That was
yeah,
the second port city.
yeah, and then the third really wasn't a city; it was just Glacier Bay that the cruise ship went in and turned birthday that day. That we stayed at Glacier Bay, and that was just a fun day. It was a relaxing day too because we were on the boat, but we were outside a lot, and yeah, it was really fun. So Glacier Bay, the ship went into the bay and then it turned around,
We
and
stayed
then we
there
came
for
back out.
an hour or two because we were watching the avalanche, right?
Yes, which
Yeah.
I thought was really cool.
And Glacier Bay is a
Yeah.
national park. So there's another national park you've been to, Angela.
You know what? That's good to know.
You can stamp it in your little book that everybody got.
Yeah, I don't have a national park book. That might surprise you. But sometimes there's things that come up and I'm like, no, I haven't been to Glacier Bay, to Glacier Park, whatever, national park. But now it's good to know that I have.
You have
And
yep.
I'll send out, we'll put pictures of Glacier Bay
That
and
was
us
really
on
cool. The sound of like the ice, falling off into the water because
because it was huge
parked
chunks.
there for an hour, I think, and just watched. It was really neat.
Yes.
I have a picture of Matt and Betsy's like relationship in Glacier Bay. I don't know if this is allowed on OK Karen, but I'm sharing a lot of pictures.
Yeah, you have to send me that one so we can
Oh yeah, that's a good picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is their relationship.
You can sense the annoyance.
Yes,
so,
of course.
That day started, like I said, my birthday, and then y'all completely decorated my room.
Lisa
and I didn't know it.
Yeah.
Did she?
Yeah, she did.
That was so nice. And then y'all sang happy birthday, and it was a really good day for me.
Didn't we surprise you? You like,
yeah,
someone brought
Betsy
you
said,
yeah.
We were eating breakfast, and Betsy was like, Angela, come with me to buy some batteries. And I was like, I'm not going to go buy batteries. And she's like, come with me right now. So, okay, Karen, let me go with you to buy batteries. And then I don't even know what we did. I don't even know if you bought batteries.
I don't remember this at all.
And then we went to the room, and y'all were all in our room. And just
13 people packed in that cabin.
Princess cabin.
The princess cabin. The guys were all like, it's nice in here. It smells good.
It smells a lot better than mine.
One of the boys were like, it smells good.
Yeah. Those cabins are pretty small for like 4 adult men to share.
Yeah.
They even warned me when I was booking them. They were like, this is generally for like 2 adults and 2 kids. And I was like, yeah, we know.
Oh, God.
We're cheap.
Because see, I thought for 3 people, the cabins, but it was our cabin. Beth had a fold out off the wall, and then Lisa and I had it like a king size bed. And then in the room, someone had one corner, someone had another corner, and then like all of our stuff. But I couldn't imagine having a 4th person in there too.
Well, we had like 2 twins on the bottom and then 2 fold down on the top twins. So it was basically like 2 sets of bunk beds on each wall, but they were very close together. And we definitely like kept our bags, like our suitcase I kept on my bed. There's nowhere to put your stuff.
Oh, see, mine was ours we were able to spread ours out.
I had my suitcase like on the foot of my bed, and then at night I didn't put mine on the floor, but I'm short.
You kept it on your bed?
Yeah, but I'm short, so it didn't bother me. But the other girls, they'd put it on the floor while they were sleeping, but then during the day, we would put it back up on their bed and get their stuff out because there was just no room. It was very tight.
Yeah, I'm so glad I had our
And then you got like grown men that are like going hiking.
Right.
Went on a 12-mile hike and they come back. I'm sure they're like socks and everything, and like guys in that room. I do remember it. And there's a quote from John about some pretty girls, and he's like, welcome to the stinky corridor. because we're walking, I guess, and somebody said we were sitting in the hall, and one of the girls, not from our group, said something about like, "Does it smell funny in this hall?" And John's like, "Yeah, yeah, that's us. That's our room." Oh, he was so funny. So
And then that night, yeah, we did. I don't even remember where we did dinner, but then of course, we ended up
I think
in.
we did Italian because we got wine for the
Oh
anniversary.
yes, and we got some wine.
Lots of
That is
wine.
no joke.
That was one of the times, kind of like the Italy trip, where we all just like get together in the lounge and somebody's like, "I brought a bottle," and then like four other people are like, "I brought a bottle too." Like everybody brought some, and then that was nice about the cruise that you could bring your drinks from one location to the next, and like
Right.
started a bottle of wine at dinner, and then they're like, "Would you like this? You know, are you going to?" We're going to the lounge, and like, "Oh, we'll just send it down there for you," and it's there when you arrive, like on ice. I'm like, "Okay, thanks."
And then yeah, the lounge, we ended the night there with Wavelength, just playing our hearts out. It was so much fun.
Yes.
So much fun. And we'll put pictures up of, I mean, not that night. We'll put some pictures of us dressed up pretty. Because I don't even think we took pictures
I
of
know
that
what
night.
I
So
think you're referring to one of you and Matt.
I have no idea.
That one's awesome.
You don't remember? Matt has a wine glass in his shirt pocket. Don't remember that? Huh. Okay. We're not going
I
to get
mean, we
into
don't need
those
to talk about
stories.
every detail, do we? Every detail?
I mean, the
Okay,
funny
Karen.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, John. Oh, just the ones that involve you and your formal
Right.
gowns. Okay. Let's
Oh,
You want me to read those quotes from
No,
John Goble?
no,
Okay. All
no,
right, we'll move on.
no. Let's move on. So our next stop the next day was Ketchikan.
I think this is where we had the shirts made.
I think so
I
too.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Matt and Mary got up super early. They
To
went
go kayaking.
Yes.
And it was
John,
a rough
what did
night.
you?
I thought they were just going to miss their
I did not think
excursion.
they
Yeah.
were going to do
But
it
they were
at
up
all.
at like 5 or 6 to leave.
Yes.
And we didn't go to bed until like 3 probably. I was like, ooh.
Oh my God. And it was a long night.
Yes.
I went-
What you said you went, what did you do?
I went ziplining with Teresa and Mike, and I remember, I mean, just we were on this like military bus going towards the ziplining excursion, and Teresa and Mike were not celebrating your 30th birthday. They had kind of like a date on their own.
Oh, a date night.
And
Yeah.
I remember them
That's so
asking me,
rude.
I remember
dare
them
they?
asking me, they're like, "John, did you have a good time last night?" And I'm like, yeah, I had a really good time." And they're like, "Oh, that's good. You guys celebrate Angela's birthday?" And I'm like, yeah. And then like later in the day, they saw the pictures and they're like, "You had a really good time last night." I'm like, "Yeah, we did." I was not in the mood to explain just how good of a time
I
we
had a
had.
good
Just-
time, but I didn't end up in the like ship emergency room.
That's
Like
right.
other people. No names
Yes,
will be
that's
mentioned, but
not
No
me.
names, no names.
someone did get very sick and we didn't
Had to
bring
get
them
some-
there. That was even more freaky because I'm like, where is this person? They
Yeah,
were in
she
the
doesn't-
bathroom and now they're gone. But someone from the cruise escorted them down for medical assistance, which
Right.
they didn't end up needing. But it was kind of, for us, I was like, what's happening? Like, where's this person? Because our cell phones didn't work on the ship. So we really had to, we coordinated when we meet up and where everybody was and stuff. Because the ship is big. You can't just be like, I'll run into you.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Fun night.
And that's why Ketchikan, I literally just went shopping with you,
Yes.
Betsy. And y'all, my suitcase was already so packed going there. I had no room to put souvenirs. So every souvenir I bought, I just told them, ship it back to Mississippi. Ship it
I
back
was
to
going to ask,
Mississippi.
did you buy another bag or something? But you
No,
just shipped everything back.
They shipped everything. And remember that guy, I said, when are you going to ship this? Because it had some gifts and I wanted it back before I got back to Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy said, well, we've already walked our post office to the post office today. It's across the street. So we'll do it tomorrow. And I said,
a lot of people didn't have cars. in
It's
this little
across
town.
the street.
No, but I'm just saying because that comes in when we're doing the T-shirt thing too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So go ahead.
So anyway,
Yeah.
but
So
I
you're like,
just
can't you go and drop this off for me today?
no, I said
Karen.
it very nice. I was like, well,
I'm sure
sir,
you were very sweet.
can you please drop it off? And I remember Zach was with us, and Zach said, oh, that's what the Southern accent gets you. Because the guy, when we left the store, he was walking across the street to drop it off for me. And I thought that was so nice of him. But
Oh.
yes, everything I bought, and I bought a lot of stuff.
Zach said he is going to remember your Southern Hail Mary for the rest of his life. I don't remember when we were praying the Hail Mary, but apparently it made an impression on him.
I mean, I think it's just like y'all's. The words
Are
are
you talking to
just
me
like
or are you talking to
y'all's.
John?
I'm talking to all of you. The words are just like
the
y'all.
words of the prayer are the same.
The same.
Yes,
That's right. I
that
don't want
is-
anyone else thinking, did Angela make up a new Hail
No.
Mary? Because
It's
no,
the
I
same
didn't.
prayer in Mississippi as it is in Illinois and Texas. That
That's
is true.
right.
That is true.
That's
I can
right.
vouch for you there.
Yeah.
Does it sound the same? No,
Probably not.
probably
Some
not.
of the syllables might be a little longer than others.
So, whose idea was it to make T-shirts for our group?
I don't know, but I think it was a
I have no
great
idea.
idea.
I mean, most people would make T-shirts before they go on the trip, not wait
Yeah.
till they're like
Mm-mm.
at a town of 800 people in the middle of
So
Alaska.
these
So
are our
John-
shirts.
Oh, there's our shirts.
All
This
right.
is the front, and then this is the back. And can you read the back?
Thanks.
Can you read it?
Well, thanks for bringing all the
thanks.
crazy people. Yes.
Yeah.
Alaska.
And then
2010.
Alaska. Yes.
I forgot what I
So-
forgot there even was a back. I just remember
I
that
did
is
too
true.
until I just opened it up and I saw, oh, there's a back to it.
So someone
Uh,
thought this was a good idea, and everybody was like, "Yeah, I'll pay $10 for a T-shirt." Like everybody just kind of decided. So John, were you the one that ordered them too, John, and found a printing place in town?
No, I don't think so. But
No, I have
well,
a feeling
yeah,
like
yeah, I think-
Lisa
I
or
think-
you, Betsy.
I don't think it was me.
but it was like a ways across town, and they're like, well, how are we going to get there? And so someone made me run to that place and find out something. I remember doing that, and then I had to report back to Lisa, and she's shopping. Lisa's shopping, so I ran all
See
the
her
way
being
to
like, "Okay, John,
'cause I, like,
can
called
you
her.
ask about the sizes or if it's 100%
Yes,
cotton?" And you're like,
that's exactly what happened. And she's
I'm
like,
gonna run
can you
back
go
over
tell
there.
Betsy? Da, da, da. And she's like, this is and the most princess line of the whole thing was she's like, it's so nice to have a runner in the group. And I'm like,
like you work for her. She's like,
yeah,
also, did you get my
like
coffee?
a mule. Yes, exactly.
I love it. You're her
That's
personal
hilarious.
Whatever.
assistant that day.
Yeah.
That's perfect impression for expression for Elisa too.
And
She's like,
Lisa was 100% yes, a princess too.
I mean,
Mhm.
maybe
In
even
case
more
y'all
so
didn't
than
know.
Angela, which is surprising. I feel like Beth just
Probably.
kind of like, was in for the ride in the princess cabin, but you two definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that's how it happened. And then I wasn't really involved, but they were just ordered and printed all in the same day. And the lady that did the printing said she would bring them to us. And we're like, this
She
is what
brought
time.
them to
Go ahead.
she brought them to a certain point, and we didn't know that she was going to bring them there by bicycle.
Yes, that's
But-
what I was hoping
yeah,
you'd say.
Yeah,
Because we
she
were
brought- and
watching,
I'm like,
we're like,
'cause-
what is taking
yeah,
so
everybody
long?
had went back to the boat except for me and Mike, and
Yeah.
so I'm like I'm waiting for
Where
this
is
car
she?
to show up, and then this bicycle shows up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is why it's taken so long.
And wasn't she very
So-
nonchalant? Like you guys are like, we have 10
Oh
minutes
yeah,
to vote.
Oh, John. And
Yeah.
I remember standing on the,
We were
we're
all
on the
standing
boat
watching.
yeah,
outside
right.
watching because this boat is about to take off. And I thought, y'all
They're
are
gonna
not
miss
going to
it.
make it. You're going to be in Ketchikan forever.
Because these
I just
stupid t-shirts.
Yes. And then all of a sudden,
Oh,
here y'all
man.
come running.
y'all were-
running.
I
Running
forgot.
with a bag of 15 t-shirts.
Yes.
How like your pulse was probably 150. I mean, it
Yeah.
was
I don't.
probably through the roof. Did you really
I wasn't
think y'all
running
were
like
y'all
this.
might did y'all think you were gonna miss the boat?
Yes, me and Mike were pretty worried we were going to miss the boat. And I remember getting to the boat and like showing them whatever identification you had to get on the boat, like, here's my pass or
Yeah.
whatever. And then getting on the boat and I'm like, why isn't this thing taking off? Like
Yeah.
it took so like
It didn't leave for
I was
another 10
expecting to.
minutes. And you're like,
Yeah.
We were perfectly fine. So
but I think they left late for some reason because you guys weren't perfectly timed fine as far as when they said they were going to leave.
Right.
I think
Right.
we
yeah,
departed a little late. And
yeah.
I do remember very
I
worried
remember the guy that I showed my ID to. He was kind of annoyed at us. So
because you were running up the ramp like as it was supposed to be leaving. And I think we were all together where we were supposed to meet this lady. And we're like, where is she? Where is she? And then
yeah,
we said, okay, you guys stay as long as you can. And then just, run if you're not going to make it. And we're all going to go. And we all walk to the boat. And we're just like, they're not going to make it. They're not going to make
Yeah.
it. They're not going to make it.
I
And
know.
I
I
remember
know.
from where we were on the boat, I think we could see the lady on the bike because I was kind of annoyed because she just was
That
like,
she.
like riding her bike like she's on freaking Sesame Street, like day in the park. And we're like, lady, like, you have to know these cruise ships are there, every time. We told you what time to meet, and she was late by like a half an hour.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not to mention, we gave her some good business. 15 shirts in a day. That's pretty good.
Right.
I
How
bet she
much is she
doesn't do
printing
that.
in Ketchikan
Right.
anyway?
Exactly.
So yeah, but I don't think there was a lot of cars anywhere,
No.
between, so.
No.
No.
I
Yeah.
do have to say
No.
that a lot of the small towns later when the movie The Proposal came out, Angela, and
Oh,
they show the
yeah.
little towns and everybody knows everybody. It just seemed like, yeah, that's what it seemed like it was when we were in the small
Right.
towns we stopped at. I mean, we didn't see anybody like that had land and property mansion like his parents did in that movie.
No.
But
No, we missed that.
but the small
city.
town, little streets and the little shops and stuff was very similar to what it felt like when we were there. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yes.
side
So
note.
then the next stop was our last stop, which was Victoria, Canada.
Yes, Victoria, British
Yeah.
Columbia. And
Yeah.
this is where we almost forgot to pay for our food. At least I did. Did you guys do this? We ate at a restaurant.
Yeah, we ate at like a pub or something.
Two
Yeah.
experiences. One, I remember feeling like I was still moving.
Oh yeah. I do
There.
remember that
Yeah,
feeling.
And I
do
think
remember
it was because from Ketchikan
The
down-
night before we had really bad weather.
Yes, and it was like the longest at sea time. It was like 48
Mhm.
hours at sea without getting off the boat. And then, I mean, you'd been really on the boat for a week, but that was like the longest time. And then we had really bad weather. We'll talk about that in a minute. And so we got off, and I remember we went into this we were walking around, downtown or whatever in Victoria, and then we went to this pub restaurant place, and I just remember sitting and being like whoa, like we are still all rocking. And then I
Mhm.
got up to leave the table, like everybody's finished eating, we're like, okay, let's go. And because I had eaten on the cruise the entire week, I didn't eat out anywhere else at the port cities because I was always like, we eat for free on the boat, I already paid for it. It's because I'm cheap. So so yeah, so I got up to and then I'm like getting my coat and stuff, and I'm like, we're all starting to go. I'm like, oh my God, we have to pay. We have to pay for our food. Like they have to bring a check. Like I almost walked out without even paying for my food because I was so like, a week worth of not paying for any
Yeah, I don't think I made
breakfast,
that
lunch, and
mistake.
dinner, and then of course the dessert bar in the middle of the night.
Oh my
the cruise had
goodness.
come good.
Lisa and I hit up the ice cream bar couple, like, I don't know,
Yeah.
midnight, 1 o'clock sometimes. It was
Yeah,
just
they had
in
some
our
really good food.
pajamas.
They
Yeah.
tell you on the last day of the cruise, they had like questions with the captain, and the captain's like, the average weight gain is 9 pounds or something for the passenger, 8 pounds in a week. That's the average. And I'm like, why did they tell you that at the beginning of the week? Like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. But somebody asked the captain too about the bad weather because we were at the Bliss Lounge the night before, we were dancing, and we would the whole floor would just like slant or just drop. I remember we'd jump and it would just like you're in an elevator, it would just drop.
Right.
Boom, and he said it was what, like a 3 out of 10 as far as the worst that they'd been.
really,
Wow.
because
Yeah. It was low. It
I
might have been like a 5 out of 10, but we were all like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" Because it was, I mean, scary for us.
I had to leave because I was getting sick. So I went back to the cabin and just I think I took some medicine and just went to sleep because we were rocking on that
Yep.
boat. It
I
was,
never got
and
sick the night
you didn't get
that
sick?
I would have. I never did get seasick, but that was the one night that I felt like I may get seasick. I mean, it was rough.
And then remember they had the little TVs in our room that showed outside, and I remember watching it, and we're hitting the waves, the bow of the boat, and I thought, should I watch this? Is this making me feel worse? And that was the night that they did the chocolate bar or something.
Yes. Yeah.
And y'all were talking about it, and I was so jealous because I was sick and I had to go to bed. I couldn't partake in that.
I'm sorry, Angela. We'll just have to do it again.
Yeah, let's do it again.
I'm serious.
Okay, let's do it again. Let's go.
We
Let's
can have
go.
a reunion in
Yeah.
2020, 2030.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I can't. Okay.
Okay.
Karen.
We
I
could
guess
celebrate
that's
your
out.
birthday all over again.
That's that. Okay, if it's about me, then we'll do it, John. Thanks.
Oh, now she's in because you mentioned her birthday.
Totally.
Of course. Make it about Angela.
Thank you.
So favorite parts of, so that was the last stop was Victoria.
That was it. Yes. And we just walked around in Victoria. I don't think we really did anything. We ate and walked around.
It was a shorter, it was a shorter stop too. It was like,
we weren't there
or
long.
something. It wasn't the whole
Right.
12 hours. So favorite parts of the trip? Anyone?
I think for me, it was a tie between like my whole birthday, the day and night, because it was just so, y'all made it so special for me. And the cruise ship, the band made it so special. And it was just a fun,
it was really fun. Yeah.
Yes. And then the whale excursion was really, because I mean, it was unreal to see all that. So yeah, those were probably my top. My
favorite, I would say, was the scenery, like the landscape of seeing Alaska and Canada from the boat even was just gorgeous. And then Glacier Bay with like the avalanche of the ice falling into the water. It's just something I'd never seen before and haven't seen since, obviously, but it was really cool to see that. And then my favorite, so that would be one part. The other part would be that the cruise was really fun with a big group of people. And I was surprised because I kind of wondered, like, how am I going to do for 7 days on a boat? But every day we just, we went to shows and we ate together and it was just a blast. So I had as much fun on the boat, if not more, than I did at the stops, which surprised me. I was like,
and
well, this
also
is
a
really
group
fun
of,
because I was worried about like how we're on the boat a lot for this cruise,
but a group of people that we didn't know each other.
Yes,
I kind of, I knew you and John. I had met you and Matt, and obviously your brother and Beth and Lisa, and I didn't know anyone else. So, but we all again just got along, and it was a good group, and it was a fun. It really was fun.
Yeah.
So, John, what was your favorite?
Well, just to add what you said, I remember being a little like nervous about spending 7 days on a vacation with some people you'd never even met yet. But it was it was a very good group of 15 people. But probably my favorite part was the hike we went on Skagway at Skagway, and then probably, not to make it about Angela again, but the night of your birthday was pretty awesome. That was a lot of fun. So
I think we've been together. Our group had been together for a few days before your birthday too. So we had gotten to know each other. The group was comfortable with everybody by then.
Right. Yeah. And also the little tiara that Lisa
everybody got a chance to wear it.
Everyone eventually wore it, took pictures with it. I mean, it was, we had a ball. Y'all had a helmet full of some type of beer. It was a fun night. Even if it wasn't about me, it was still a fun night.
Yes. I'm sure glad to hear that John said that was like his favorite day also.
Yeah.
Because you're like,
Well,
see, it wasn't just me. Everybody had fun that day.
Well, Betsy, I didn't want to tell you, but Glacier Bay was my birthday day.
Oh,
So
was it?
all
Oh,
just
sorry.
wrapped around me still.
Sorry, I didn't
Right.
remember that.
Yeah.
If I want to be invited back on OK Karen, I have to make it all about Angela. So,
Yeah. Oh, you know what's up right there.
Told you you're my favorite Bower.
Oh gosh. So it was
All
a great
right.
trip, and it was fun
was.
reminiscing about it. If you have any questions you want to ask us about Alaska, or if you're thinking about going, definitely do it. It was a
Oh, for sure.
really great experience. And I mean, how else you can get to Alaska? You don't want to drive like
Yeah.
40 hours to get there.
I would
Yeah.
do the cruise again.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would
I
too.
would too, because I know people that have like gotten to Seattle and then taken a plane to another place in Alaska and then just stayed in one town. And I really like that we saw, and granted, yes, they're touristy towns, but it was a great way to see Alaska, I felt.
Yeah.
I think
I
so
agree.
too. And if you
Yeah.
could do, I mean, there's a lot of different types of excursions. One of the girls at our groups did a helicopter ride and
Mhm.
landed on
Right.
the top of a glacier and got out and did stuff
Yeah.
on top of a glacier, which I was like,
Right.
that's pretty cool. She was the only one that did it though, because I think it was the most
Yeah.
expensive of excursions. We're all like, whoa. But whale watching, and they had different fishing boat things from like The Deadliest Catch. Is that the name of the show?
Oh yeah. Good
So they had
job. I
all
didn't
kinds of
even-
different things that you could do, a different type of excursion every stop, which was neat. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that's Alaska. John, thanks so much for coming on and
Yes, it
joining
was fun to
us.
see you
You're
and
welcome.
talk about Alaska. Hope that
Yeah.
your wife isn't too jealous that, she met you after this and didn't get to.
Unfortunately, very jealous. And if we do it in like 2030, she'll definitely want to come along.
Okay,
So
see, there you go. And the kids
Oh,
will be old
good.
enough. They can come or you can leave them home.
that's true.
I mean,
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
you go.
So let's start planning it now. 2030.
2030.
2030, we're going to
In
Alaska.
9
I'm in.
years.
That seems
I'm
so
in.
far away. I'm in. Wait, we don't have the dates yet, John. It doesn't matter.
I know.
Everybody
it'll
should be
between
able to
May-
plan. Everybody should be able to mark the dates this early.
Well, the good thing about the
Yeah.
cruise, it's only going to be between like May and September,
Yes,
because that's the only time they
it's the only
cruise.
time it
So
goes, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
'cause,
We have it nailed down between May and September. of
yeah, and I
2030.
think
2030.
yeah, and my
So-
birthday's in June, so just
We
saying.
need to do Angel's birthday again. My husband
just-
and I want to go to national parks, and I have been to Glacier Bay, but I don't think there's any way to get to Glacier Bay except on a boat or a helicopter. So what we'll just do. I'll just
So
plan
he'll
on
want to
doing
go
that.
there
Yeah.
to mark it
There you go.
off.
We'll plan.
Yeah.
I'll tell him 2030 we're going to Glacier Bay National Park. So there you go.
Okay,
All
sounds
right.
good. Okay.
Good night, Sean.
Good night, Bradley Cooper.
Good night, Marissa.
Okay, thanks, John,
Bye.
for not saying good night to Bradley Cooper.
Don't steal her
I
thunder.
almost did. I
Don't-
was this close. I thought, no, I better be nice because I want.
I want to come back.
It's
I want to
Angela.
be a guest again. Keep my super fan status.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Bye,
right.
everyone.
All right, bye, y'all.